Millions of Australians are set to head to the polls tomorrow to vote in the country's general election. Opinion polling currently puts Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's centre-left Labor Party ahead of his Conservative opponent, Peter Dutton, who you see on the right. For more on this, let's bring in CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams, who just happens to be Australian as well. So you're going to give us the real scoop here, Holly. Good morning to you. What are the main issues at play in this election for Australians?
Good morning, Errol. Well, the biggest issues are mainly tied to the economy, especially the rising cost of living and the cost of housing. Australia's relationship with the US is very close, not just economically, but militarily. So that wouldn't normally be an election issue. A close relationship with America is something that Australians tend to agree on. But now the Trump administration has imposed 10% tariffs on Australia, which is the new baseline rate. And that plays into those economic concerns because it could obviously have a negative impact on Australia's economy. Now, a recent poll found that 60% of Australians believe that Trump's victory was bad for Australia. So having a Prime Minister who is best able to handle Donald Trump, for want of a better word, to negotiate successfully with him, has now become an election issue. In fact, it was one of the questions asked at the first televised debate in this election between the candidates for Prime Minister. And it may actually be helping the incumbent Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, or Albo, as Australians call him, whose Labor Party is now slightly up in the polls. He may be viewed as a kind of safer pair of hands when it comes to managing the relationship with Trump. His challenger, Peter Dutton, is the leader of the Liberal Party, which is the main right-wing party in Australia. And Dutton has tended to say things that are much more positive about Donald Trump, which may now work against him.
It'll be interesting to watch which really comes ahead. And I think what's also fascinating about Australian elections is the turnout is so much higher than most other countries. Help us understand why that is.
Well, look, in some ways, Australians and Americans see themselves as fairly similar, both former British colonies, both long-standing democracies, both people who tend to see themselves as kind of fiercely independent. Yeah. But politically, the US and Australia are radically different. In Australia, it is compulsory to vote if you're over the age of 18. If you don't vote, you're fined. And while the fine is very small, just $20 or around $13 US, the result of that rule is that Australians tend to see voting as something they have to do. So voter turnout at the last federal election in Australia in 2022 was around 90%. And for comparison, in the US at the last presidential election, it was 64% of eligible voters. The voting systems are also very different. There's no electoral college in Australia. You vote for your local member of parliament and your senator, not for the Prime Minister directly. And finally, in Australia, we have the democracy sausage. There's a tradition in Australia that outside voting stations, there's a sausage sizzle, someone barbecuing sausages and wrapping them in bread with ketchup. You're supposed to buy a sausage. The money goes to charity or the community. And the sausage symbolises what brings us together, what we actually agree on. And many people actually use that opportunity to talk to someone with whom they disagree respectfully. Errol.
And Holly, we just saw some footage of, I guess, the official Australian voting uniform, maybe some swimming trunks. That's how we get it done in America. Make it compulsory and offer food to get people to the polls. Holly Williams, great update from you. Thanks for joining us from London.
Thanks, Errol.